For over 3 decades, The Simpsons has been a cornerstone of American television, celebrated for its wit and heart. However, beneath its colorful animation lies a surprisingly dark and subversive core. This article delves into the 10 bleakest episodes of the series, ranking them based on their emotional weight, psychological horror, and controversial themes. From exploring the raw pain of grief and the fragility of mental health to deconstructing the very nature of its universe, these episodes prove that Springfield was often a shadowland of human frailty, societal cruelty, and the existential dread, cementing the show's legacy as more than just a cartoon. The Shadow of Springfield, a deep dive into the 10 darkest The Simpsons episodes, ranked. The Simpsons is not just a television show. It is a cultural institution, an animated monolith that has cast a long shadow over entertainment for more than 30 years. Its vibrant world of Springfield has become as familiar to audiences as their own hometowns. And its characters, Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, are as iconic as any in American history. The show's primary legacy is one of groundbreaking humor, sharp satire, and an uncanny ability to predict the future. Yet to define it solely by its comedic genius is to overlook one of its most daring and enduring qualities: its willingness to be profoundly, uncomfortably dark. Long before adult animation became a saturated market of cynical, gore-filled comedies, The Simpsons was quietly pushing boundaries. It masterfully Trojan horsed complex, mature themes into a format accessible to the entire family. While it rarely delved into the explicit vulgarity of its successors like South Park or Family Guy, its darkness was often more insidious and psychologically resonant. The show's writers understood a fundamental truth. The most terrifying moments are not always the most graphic, but the most emotionally real. They explored the bleak landscapes of grief, mental illness, public shaming, existential dread, and the sheer, random cruelty of life. Because we had grown to love these characters, watching them suffer wasn't just a plot point, it was an emotional gut punch. This list seeks to rank the 10 darkest episodes of The Simpsons. The criteria for darkness here is multifaceted, encompassing not just shocking plot developments, but also thematic weight, psychological horror, and controversial subject matter. These episodes lingered long after the credits rolled, forcing viewers to confront the shadows lurking just beneath Springfield's sunny, four-fingered surface. Number 10, Brawl in the Family, Season 13, Episode 7. By its 13th season, The Simpsons was a well-oiled machine, but it demonstrated it could still throw a wrench in the works. The episode's darkness stems from its unkerning depiction of The Simpsons' family dynamic completely imploding. The premise begins with political satire. An acid rainstorm caused by the Republican Party forces the family into a claustrophobic lockdown, but quickly descends into a raw and ugly domestic dispute. A simple board game spirals into a full-blown, house-destroying brawl, landing the family in jail. The true darkness emerges with the introduction of Gabriel, a social worker voiced by Delroy Lindo, who is assigned to rehabilitate them. Unlike the usual bumbling Springfield officials, Gabriel is competent, observant, and represents a genuine threat to their family's existence. He dissects their toxic codependency with chilling accuracy, concluding they are a toxic mess. The humor is still present, but it's laced with the bitter reality of domestic dysfunction. The episode forces us to question the chaotic but loving dynamic we'd always accepted. Here, the chaos isn't charming, it's pathological. The resolution, which involves revealing Homer's secret Las Vegas wife, Amber, is absurd. But the emotional scars of seeing the family unit so thoroughly pathologized remain. It's a dark reminder that the line between quirky dysfunction and destructive toxicity is perilously thin. Number 9, Cape Fear, Season 5, Episode 2. Cape Fear is a masterclass in tension and a contender for the most genuinely suspenseful episode in the show's history. A direct and brilliant parody of the 1962 thriller Cape Fear and its 1991 Martin Scorsese remake. This episode transforms the recurring villain Sideshow Bob from a sophisticated buffoon into a truly menacing predator. Freshly released from prison, Bob's singular focus is the brutal murder of a 10-year-old boy, Bart Simpson. What makes Cape Fear so dark is its unflinching commitment to the horror genre. The usual slapstick safety net is removed, replaced by palpable dread. The iconic sequence where Bob straps himself to the bottom of the family car, cheerfully greeting Bart with, "Hello, Bart," is pure nightmare fuel. The FBI's witness protection program is hilariously incompetent, relocating the Thompsons to Terror Lake, but the threat Bob poses is never treated as a joke. Voiced with chilling, theatrical malice by Kelsey Grammer, Bob is intelligent, relentless, and physically imposing. The episode's climax on the houseboat is a tour de force of suspense, as Bart is cornered by a man fully intending to kill him. While the famous rake scene provides one of the greatest comedic gags of all time, it serves to momentarily break a tension that is otherwise suffocating. Bob was never scarier, and the show was never closer to becoming a straight-up horror story. Number 8, Homer's Vigilante, Season 5, Episode 11. On its surface, Homer's Vigilante is a sharp parody of the Death Wish revenge fantasy, skewering the American fascination with vigilantism. After a cat burglar plagues Springfield and steals Lisa's beloved saxophone, a fed-up Homer forms a citizen patrol group. The darkness here is not in the crime itself, but in what it reveals about Homer and the community. The episode serves as a chilling exploration of mob mentality and the terrifying incompetence of well-intentioned, power-drunk citizens. Homer, armed with a gun and a misplaced sense of righteousness, becomes a minor tyrant. His posse, comprised of Springfield's usual dimwits, devolves into a chaotic force that abuses its power, accusing innocent people and creating more problems than it solves. The social commentary has only grown more potent over time, persistently critiquing the good guy with a gun narrative. The darkness lies in its cynical but accurate portrayal of human nature. Give ordinary, frustrated people a little bit of power, and they will almost certainly corrupt it. The burglar turning out to be a charming, sophisticated old man, voiced by Sam Neill, only adds to the bleak irony. The justice Homer sought was completely misguided from the start. Number 7, Dial N for Nerder, Season 19, Episode 14. While many of the show's darkest moments hail from its golden age, this later season entry proves The Simpsons never entirely lost its edge. Dial N for Nerder is a dark, psychological drama masquerading as a kid's adventure. The premise is simple and terrifying. Bart and Lisa, tired of Martin Prince's insufferable nerdiness during a prank, accidentally knock him off a cliff. Believing they have killed him, they are plunged into a shared nightmare of guilt and paranoia. The episode's brilliance lies in its commitment to the children's perspective. While the audience can reasonably assume Martin is alive, the story is told through Bart and Lisa's horrified eyes, making their emotional turmoil feel agonizingly real. This is the Telltale Heart, set in Springfield National Park. Lisa, the show's moral compass, is consumed by a guilt so profound it borders on a complete breakdown. Bart, ever the pragmatist, tries to orchestrate a cover-up, but even his tough exterior cracks under the weight of their perceived crime. It's a dark exploration of childhood innocence lost, forcing its two most prominent child characters to confront mortality and their own capacity for harm. Even though Nelson Muntitz is the one ultimately to uncover the crime, The emotional core is the devastating psychological journey of Bart and Lisa, making it one of the most ethically complex and emotionally harrowing episodes in the show's modern era. Number 6. Homer's Odyssey, Season 1, Episode 3. Aired in the very first season of the show, Homer's Odyssey was a stunningly early declaration of intent. This was not going to be the Flintstones. This was a show willing to tackle the bleakest aspects of the human condition. After causing a nuclear meltdown and being fired from the power plant, Homer spirals into a deep, debilitating depression. Unable to find work and feeling like a complete failure as a man and a provider, he decides the only solution is to end his own life. The episode's depiction of Homer's suicide attempt is shocking in its directness. He writes a farewell note to his family, walks to a bridge, and